Hey, good evening, everybody. How's it going tonight? Texas Redleg here. I wanted to throw out a video to y'all this evening in order to discuss the topic of competition. And just like years past, it seems like any shortage in terms of regulated items or foodstuffs, it seems to have a common denominator, which is more than likely the government. So we're competing as preppers. There's a lot of government agencies out there that are prepping too, and stocking, hoarding things as such as freedom seeds, food stocks, like I discussed a minute ago, etc. Um, they're not going to be sitting around eating MREs. I can assure you of that. Okay, now the workers will, but the powers that be are going to be eating very well, and they're prepping to make sure of it. And don't kid yourselves if you don't think they'll start making prepping illegal too. I'm sure they'll come up with some, fancy term for it, but I would fully expect if things continue to get rough and come to fruition like a lot of us think, I have no doubt for a second that they will put some sort of law or regulation together that bans freely buying what you want to buy. In other words, rationing. And I've talked about it before. Rationing is definitely a way that the government can control how much is out there, when you can buy it, how much you can buy, etc. And different regs on different types of things like coffee, tea, liquor, tobacco products. Who knows? I'm sure it's a bottomless pit with what they can do. So they're prepping. The government is souping up. The government is full gas pedal down, no brakes, and they know something's up, and they're the ones, calling the shots and pulling the strings right now. I'll tell you something else I've noticed with regard to the government, and that is, not that I'm actively looking for a new position, but I get a lot of invitations to apply to certain jobs on a certain job seeking platform. And I bet I get two groups of emails a day from this platform for criminal investigator jobs for the government. Everything from Homeland Security, the Border Patrol, just IRS, all kinds of agencies within the federal government that are searching desperately for criminal investigators. And that should tell you something. There's not just a lot of retirements all of a sudden, I don't think. Not for those jobs. I also have I would say, I call him a friend, who is just took a position at Mount Weather. I'm not going to say what area it's in, but Mount Weather is basically an underground bunker complex, and you can look it up yourself if you don't know about it. But Mount Weather is a underground bunker complex for government continuity, located, I believe, in the hills and mountains of Virginia, is what I understand, just outside D.C. I'm sure a lot of you know a lot more about it than me, but anyway, this individual took a job there, and it seems like they're ramping that thing up too, based on what I've heard. I'll try to also tell you something. Having said that, we all need to be prepared to just keep stepping on the gas, keep the gas pedal down, and not let up, because The agencies of the government are not. And we all know they have empty, they have limitless budgets and deep pockets because all they gotta do is print more money, and we know how that goes. So I would just be aware that it's not just us versus what's, on the shelves or what our neighbors are doing or whatever, but we're also competing against the government agencies at the, distribution level before it ever gets to the supermarkets. So that's something to think about. The stuff that we're getting at the stores is stuff that the government's probably already got their cut of, or whatever agencies are hunting that type of thing. So the stuff that we get at the store is the stuff that the government's already got, got their hands on and got their allotment, if you will, in my opinion. So something else I want to talk about with regard to current topics is the agricultural devastation that occurred due to this polar vortex, and then of course the previous drought, long-term drought before that. California, we all know, is experiencing these just catastrophic droughts, and it's just horrible, and it's devastated a lot of their agricultural products, and it's also helped cause forest fires, etc. This polar vortex, with regard to Texas, it is really based on what I hear and what I read, this polar vortex has devastated or practically wiped out the South Texas citrus market. There's a lot of citrus grown in the valley, Rio Grande Valley down there, and they say it is gone. It's done. So that's a shame. So, with that type of information, this agricultural, wipeout, I think it's more important every day for us to rethink, upping our game with regard to gardening, greenhouses and small raised, gardening beds, manageable plots that aren't too large, that you can feed your family from. If you're a big gardener, great. I'm talking about people that aren't really into it right now, perhaps, or maybe people that are thinking about getting into it and not getting overwhelmed. So they make some little small greenhouses that are pretty neat. You can look them up online, but also these small little raised beds, or patio gardening, they call it, with like tomatoes and peppers and such. So I just think that with the government, taking what they want first, and then, the weather wiping out a lot of the vegetation, we need to be prepared to go alone on that type of stuff. And so I encourage people to pick up a book or download some information while you can, while it's on your mind, about gardening and all that kind of stuff, and maybe just a basic book to get better at, or at least get a better understanding of what it takes to garden. I think gardening probably comes with a lot of trial and error. I'm not great at it, but I can grow stuff if I have to. Done it before. It's not my forte, but I can get by based on what I know and what I have. So anyway, I hope everybody is having a productive weekend coming up, and keeps everybody safe, and keep the communication up. I really appreciate you people interacting with me and keeping all of us informed. I'm trying to learn just like you all are trying to learn. So let's keep discussing things amongst ourselves and getting better. That's what it's all about. So with that, everybody have a great weekend. Keep prepping. Stack it deep. And always remember, long live the Republic.